This morning on Parenting Today, balancing blended families. Whether it's due to death or divorce, it's a stressful transition for both adults and children. Jane Green is the author of Another Piece of My Heart, and Today contributor and psychotherapist Robi Ludwig is here as well. They've both got some helpful advice on making the difficult adjustment a little bit easier. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
And Jane, you know whereof you speak. You have 4 kids, you have 2 stepkids, and you wrote about this in a fictional way in your book, but tell us about some of the obstacles and struggles you encountered as a stepmother.
Well, thankfully, my own experiences didn't go into my book, which features a 17-year-old going off the rails with drink and drugs and everything else. But during the research for the book, I came across so many stepmothers that there was a dynamic that I kept coming across where they found a man, loved him, his children didn't like her, and they thought, but I'm a good person, and if I love them enough, and if I'm kind enough and do enough nice things, I will make this work.
Robi, this has to be textbook.
Right. And I think a lot of people have this myth that when you have a blended family, everyone will come together easily and effortlessly. It'll look like the Brady Bunch. And really, it does take about 3 to 7 years for everybody to adjust to their new roles.
Which is really interesting. Measure your progress in years. I mean, Jane, did you encounter some of those struggles and difficulties initially?
Yes, I certainly, some of the issues that I had were parenting when you're not the parent. And particularly, you have one set of rules for your own children, but then when your stepchildren are there, you don't want to be the enforcer because you want to be liked, you want everything to be wonderful, and so you end up saying to your children, you know, clear the plates, and your stepchildren, you don't say anything at all, and then that causes problems.
And I want to talk about that dynamic in a moment, between the difference in how you treat the stepchildren plus your own children. But first, Robi, I know you've got some tips on how to make this transition as easy as possible.
Right. I think you need to let the children also grieve, because these blended families come about due to loss, either through divorce or through death. So each person needs to find their role, and part of what helps that happen is finding a new family ritual. And it doesn't mean doing something exciting like going on a vacation, because we can't do that every day. But maybe it's a family dinner where everybody gets to talk and connect, or a game night, or watching a movie, something on a regular basis, so everybody can kind of find their new rules, their new ways, their new language of being together.
And Jane, you touched on what must be one of the thorniest issues for parents, which is discipline. And I suppose you really want to have a unified front.
Yeah, and actually that in my own life, we found that the key to everything was really working together as a team. I love what Robi said about finding your own traditions, because we absolutely had that. And also, I had to really accept that although for us as adults it was gain, we thought, well, we're creating this wonderful big family. For the children, it was not only more loss on top of the loss they'd already experienced, but it was permanent loss. When their parent marries somebody else, the loss becomes permanent. And I think so important for me to realize that when we hit the bumps, it was a child in pain.
Robi, what's the bottom line? I mean, if you are a step parent, should you be attempting to parent your stepchildren, or should you be saying, well, I'll leave that to my spouse?
Well, what the experts say is that the 2 parents coming together need to make those rules ahead of time, so that there's an agreement. And so when a step parent needs to discipline, they don't feel like they're going outside of the boundaries of what they can and cannot do. And you have to remember, this new couple is the foundation of the new family. So you need to figure out how to stay strong so that everybody else can fall into line.
We have about 20 seconds left, but let's leave them on a high note. You say there are a lot of benefits to a blended family.
When all the kids are together, it's completely magical. And also, I've learned how to be a better mother because I've been more present for my stepkids, because I've had to be, and it's helped me in so many ways.
And it can bring new people into your life, new friends, and families are fluid. If you're a nuclear or blended, it doesn't matter. So there are always people coming in and out, and that's a beautiful thing.
And that's the way we became the Brady Bunch. All right, Jane Green and Robi Ludwig, thank you so much.